Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins. We're experts at AI coaching and helping professionals like you and your employees upskill in AI. Today, we're examining a pivotal moment in the commercial space race, the debut of Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket. It was intended to be a game changer, but its first commercial flight didn't unfold quite as anticipated. Let's break down what occurred.
Here's our roadmap for this overview. We'll begin with the primary setback that captured the headlines. Then, we'll explore the mission's mixed results, looking at a surprising success hidden within the failure. We'll also cover the customer's reaction, delve into an expert's technical analysis, and finally, we'll zoom out to understand what this means for the high-stakes competition with SpaceX. All right, let's start with the main event itself, the very first commercial launch of Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket.
The fundamental outcome was this: the rocket faltered during its commercial debut. Its crucial payload, a key satellite, was placed into an incorrect orbit. This rendered the satellite effectively useless. For such a high-profile inaugural flight, this was, without a doubt, a major misstep. The information for our analysis today is drawn from a detailed LinkedIn post authored by Laura Stewart, published on April 19, 2026. Her post collates reporting from established outlets, including the Wall Street Journal and TechCrunch, to provide a comprehensive view of the event.
Now, here's where the story gets more complex. This launch wasn't an outright catastrophe. To truly grasp the implications for Blue Origin, we need to examine two very different results from the same mission: one significant success and one critical failure.
The positive takeaway was substantial. Blue Origin successfully landed and recovered New Glenn's very large first-stage booster. This is a huge milestone for their strategy of reusability and long-term cost reduction. The negative, however, is that this achievement was completely overshadowed by an anomaly in the rocket's second stage. This failure meant the satellite was deployed into that unusable, low orbit.
So what is the protocol when a multi-million-dollar asset is effectively lost during launch? Let's turn to the reaction from the mission's customer, AST SpaceMobile. In their public statements, AST SpaceMobile projected a remarkably pragmatic tone. The essence of their message was, space is a difficult business, we understood these risks, and we have contingency plans. It was framed not as a disaster, but as an acknowledged challenge within the industry. So, while the lost satellite, known as Bluebird 7, is slated to be deorbited, meaning it will burn up in the atmosphere, AST SpaceMobile is already focused on what's next. They promptly announced that the next 3 satellites in their constellation are nearly complete and will be ready for shipment within a month, signaling their continued commitment to their goals.
We have a successful booster landing, but a failed payload delivery. What does this dual outcome signify from an engineering and strategic standpoint? Let's consider an expert analysis of the launch.
Analyst Brian Dorland characterized it as a mixed outcome. He acknowledged the reuse milestone is notable, but he emphasized that the upper stage issue is now the central focus, one that will require a very disciplined engineering investigation and resolution.
This analysis can be broken down into 4 key observations. First, the booster reuse is a genuinely meaningful step for Blue Origin's long-term business model. But second, it's the upper stage's performance that is absolutely mission-critical for their operational credibility as a launch provider. Third, it's worth noting that anomalies are not uncommon in the development of new launch vehicles. The crucial metric, then, is not the failure itself, but how swiftly and thoroughly Blue Origin diagnoses and corrects the issue.
This event doesn't exist in a vacuum. It has significant ripple effects across the industry. That's because Blue Origin is attempting to gain a foothold in a commercial market that is currently dominated by SpaceX.
For Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin, this was far more than a routine flight. It represented their grand entrance into the heavy-lift launch market. To falter at this first step is a considerable setback in their efforts to compete with SpaceX, a company that has already established a strong reputation for reliability and frequent flight cadence.
And that really brings us to the central question. The successful landing demonstrates that the core architecture has promise. However, the failure to deliver the payload raises profound questions about reliability. Blue Origin's future position in this competitive market will likely depend on how effectively they resolve this issue and prove their system can be trusted by customers.
Thank you for watching. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. If you like these videos, use the QR code at the beginning of this video to buy us a coffee, or hire us to coach you or your employees in AI. We encourage you to subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel. Please like, comment, and share to help us reach a wider audience.